Good stoppage in the end, spectacular. How do you feel you assess the whole performance overall?
Paddy just said 5 out of 10. I'll watch it back and most likely agree. You know, fighting a southpaw is totally different to what I've been used to lately, so that was a good experience, exactly what I needed. Douglin's he's a good fighter, put up a great fight. Obviously you've got to change your distance, find your range, fighting someone on the opposite stance. Very good with his head. He was very good inside.
Oh, we're live, November 22nd. He just beat Denis Douglin.
So when he did get inside, I wasn't really doing what I should be doing. But it's good to get another stoppage. It's good to be back, knocking people out. And now it's just roll on for the big one for me, WBC World Title Challenge. And I can't wait.
Definitely the fight next to you, Anthony Dirrell, because it goes to purse bids, but there are other options for you.
Yeah, certainly other options, but I want to take the quickest route, and for me right now the WBC is the quickest route between my promoters, Douglin. We're going to secure it in the very near future, and that's exciting for me. Hopefully it's exciting for everyone here and the British boxing fans in general. I want to be a world champion, I want to bring another belt back to Britain, so that's the route, that's the plan.
Callie, do you think George will have to travel for his shot?
Well, George can do it anywhere. I believe he can beat Anthony Dirrell on the moon, so we don't really care about that. We just want the shot now, and we'll be pushing for that.
World champion next year?
Without a doubt. Sometime, innit? Geez, how many more tries I've got to have? I can't keep letting people down.
Well done tonight.
It's hard because, I understand sometimes I'm a little tough on George Groves, but I'm a fan to an extent, and I want to see him do good, even though he's a whinging, whiny wanker. There's something still missing. Now, he got the knockout. Okay, all right. It was a slow start against Denis Douglin. You heard his trainer, his trainer, Patty Mills, was saying he gives him a 5 out of 10. I give him a 6 out of 10, maybe 7 because of the knockout. But still, ugly fight. And, poor old Denis Douglin, he's not too far from me, over in New Jersey. He got beat up in front of his mom. His mom is basically his trainer. His alias is Mama's boy. But the question I have, and let's just cut the bullshit. Can George Groves defeat Anthony Dirrell? Can this George Groves today defeat the WBC champion of the world, 168-pound Anthony Dirrell? He can't defeat Carl Froch. So honestly, in my opinion, he's the WBC Silver Champion, which means he'll be getting a title shot, sometime in the next 3 to 4 months. Just like James DeGALE is the IBF #1 contender. I think there should be a second fight. Just my opinion, because it's a point in time right now where both of those guys can't get off of the domestic level. George Groves, to his part, had one of the highest grossing, if not the highest grossing events of the year. Fighting at Wembley Stadium in front of 70,000 plus. So I guess what I'm saying is this: George Groves still has a lot to prove. Now, even though I'm waiting for Carl Froch to speak.
Rebrasse shouldn't have really struggled the way he did against him. I know it was a clear decision, but that wasn't the George Groves that we wanted. He was a sharp, classic. George Groves in particular.
We're going to wait for Carl to speak. But yeah, he's lobbying for a Carl Froch's third fight. Of course, he wants Anthony Dirrell. And at this point in time, honestly, he's a bit delusional. Okay, here's Froch. Let's see what he got to say.
I don't think he's jaded. I don't think he's overtrained. I think he's been Cobra. I think the same thing's happened to him, what happened to Lucian Butte. Cobra! He's been Cobra. Have you not heard that one before? Listen, tonight he's in there struggling against the light middleweight. He's missing the shots. He's walking into shots too often. If you do that at world level, you're going to get banged out. I think he really, really struggled in a really, really poor performance. And the stoppage only came then, I think, due to the exhaustion of Douglin. I think he was exhausted. He flew in on Monday or Tuesday from halfway around the world. And he's used to operating a light middleweight and middleweight. So, the writing was on the wall. I can't give him any credit. I'd love to give him credit and say, that's a great fight. He was talking about James DeGALE earlier, and I said James DeGALE boxed really well. He was fantastic tonight, performed well. And I was thinking about it, I thought to myself, let DeGALE and Groves fight each other, And maybe I'll fight the winner. Just maybe. I'm not saying anything. But here's one for you. Let them two fight it out. I'll take the winner on. But looking at that, it's a mismatch. And I think the two guys here will agree with me. DeGALE beats Groves every day of the week.
Oh, la la. Right. He's Cobra.
See, that's why I'm a big Carl Froch fan, by the way. You heard him. George Groves ain't been the same since he's got Cobra. He ain't been the same. But listen, Anthony Joshua about to take on Michael Sprott. Of course, I'm going to be covering the fight. I'm T Street Controversy. That's who I go by. I cover every single major fight live. So, for example, it's November the 22nd, 5:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Over there in the UK, it's about 10:55 p.m. And guess what? That's how I roll. So, please subscribe. Real Combat Media is the website. And once again, when it comes to a fight over in London, Liverpool, South Dakota, Alaska, I cover every single major fight live. George Groves should fight James DeGALE in a rematch. That would give Carl Froch, as you hear, that would give him the feeling of like, okay, yeah, I would love to fight, you know, the winner of that, because that would be George Groves versus James DeGALE 2 would be a big fight. The winner of that, the doors would open up for them very wide. But at this point in time right now, just like Carl Froch said, I'm sorry, but I got James DeGALE. This James DeGALE, the old one, I don't know. But remember, the guy's still Olympic gold medalist. I got this James DeGALE defeating George Groves every day of the week. Just my opinion, an American opinion. T Street Controversy Live.